Hello my gorgeous lash tribers, it's me Julia, long time no see. I know we have been kind of slacking on the live lash lessons over the Christmas break just because everyone was gone and there was no new posts and anything like that. But now we have quite a few new people that have posted their sets of lashes that I would like to review today. The best way for me to tell if anyone's styling is spot on or not is to post a picture of the entire head like that, or even if you post at least this kind of frame. You don't have to have the mouth in it. It would be good to have the entire head, and try and get a before picture as well as an after picture. If it's only an after picture, I can't really tell if the styling is suitable. Of course I can see if it's well done or not, or if it looks weird, but it's really good for me to see the lashes up front beforehand as well and have the same kind of lighting. And if it's really blurry, again, for me it's very hard to say anything to it. And if you are only posting photos of one eye, I cannot review the styling on this person. It's impossible. You need to be able to see the entire face shape, okay? I am going to do 2 or 3 people now until my voice kicks in. Again, it's very hard for me to tell the styling. This is obviously like a more of a Hollywood volume, a messy type of volume. For me to review this, I would say first of all, it's touching the lid. Styling wise, I can't really say much other than it's too long for her, and also the inner corner is way too long. I know that most of your clients have their own ideas of the types of lashes they want, but we are the professionals, right? We need to give our clients something that is not only looking good in everyone's kind of opinion, which is hard obviously to make everyone feel the same way about a set of lashes, but it has to be safe. It has to last them. And if you're putting lashes on someone that are way too long and the natural lash cannot support it, that lash might stay up nicely for the first week, but then I can promise you that lash, if it's on the natural lash, will start to twist and start to hang down, or the entire lash might start to hang down in its entirety. Because if you are, and there was this great picture, I don't remember exactly who posted it, but it was someone holding out a broomstick and having a bucket filled with water, or even without water, whatever you want to do, on the end. And if you have it right here, it's pretty strong. You can hold it, but the further you move the bucket out, the harder it is for you to hold the broomstick with the bucket at the end. And that is the same with lashes. The more they grow out, the heavier they will get. And if you're putting something on the lashes that is too heavy and too long to start with, you're not going to do the lashes any good. It might look great to the client for a week or 2, and if they come back for refills, the client are not the ones to know whether their lashes are still healthy or not. You are the one that sees it. You're the one sifting through the lashes as you are refilling the lashes, and you can see whether the lashes are starting to kind of lessen. They start to get maybe skinnier, and they may also start to be a lot less lashes on the eyelid, on the lash line. And that is a very good indication that you have overweight the client's natural lashes, yeah? So it's not just about what the client wants, it's about what we want to safely do as professionals, okay? I know it's very difficult because we want to please our clients, but you know what my lash artist actually told me the other day? She said, Julia, I'm so glad that you only want 9 or sometimes 10 as the longest, because I can make them super full and your lashes are always strong. This is exactly what we want, right? It doesn't mean that sometimes I say to her, look, I have this special occasion, just overload them a little bit, but I do it once. And I am a lash artist and I know exactly what my lashes can and cannot take. And it is my own decision, I suppose, as a lash artist, right? So I do say that every now and then, maybe once or twice a year, and I say, go nuts, go wild. Then I'm gonna get a fresh new set after 6 to 8 weeks or something like that and let them recover a little bit, okay? I do that, and I know that everybody does it somehow. So this client obviously has lashes or eyes that are not quite straight in the line. Now, I must say though, this picture here was taken on a lot more of an angle. So this one was like taken like that, and this one is taken a lot straighter. You can tell by her eyebrows. So this one looks like it's really, really crazy on an angle, but it's actually not. You can see how it's a lot straighter here. So I just want to make sure that you know you need to take pictures that are identical before and after, because looking at this, I'm thinking you did such a great job balancing it out, when in fact there wasn't that much to balance out. Okay, so in this case, I just see a client with quite short little eyes and that are quite far apart. Okay, so if you were to measure from the inner corner to her outer corner, it would, if you were to move the entire eye into the middle here, there would be a lot of space on both sides, right? In a perfect world, when it comes to styling, you kind of want to have the same width of eye and fit it right into the middle. So my eyes are actually not wide or close set, they're just normal, yeah? And in this lady's case, you can see how they are definitely a little bit wide set, okay? But they're also really, really small. So in this case, I think the styling isn't too bad, but I will say that the outer corners, and this is a problem that I see all of the time, and this is why mapping up front is so important, and actually looking at the client's eyes from the start and marking it out. Don't mark it out when the eyes are shut, because you're not going to be able to see exactly where the pupil is sitting and where it's starting to droop. So you need to be able to see exactly where the starting point is, where the eyes are starting to kind of go into that bulginess to the outside. And I say bulginess, it's more of a roundness, so it's a rounding, because the eyeball is a bowl, it's not a flat surface, yeah? So it's rounded to the outer corner, so it will start to droop slightly, right? And in this case as well, because her natural eye shape is already a little bit droopy, her lashes are actually too long here. So if you were to take this away and have a look at it, and this is a mistake I see 90% of the time with lash sets, that people are lashing the outer corner lashes just too long. And if you were to think away these ones and make them tiny, tiny, tiny and super short, you would end up with something extremely beautiful, yeah? And I think that she has used a little bit of length in the inner corner is definitely good for her, because it kind of puts the eyes together further, but she has not gotten the outer corner perfect, okay? Do you guys see that? How it's just looking a little bit sad, yeah? Also, can I just mention, if you edit the eyes afterwards, because I know there's a bit of editing in the pupil, make sure you do the same in the before photo. Okay, otherwise it just looks like totally fake, because one thing is edited and the other one isn't. Alrighty, this post is from Kylie Murray, and she says, "Hi Julia, this is a great idea. This is a photo of me. I will show you in a minute. And I'd be interested to hear how you would style my eyes. I have Bell's palsy. I've had it for 6 years. I'd love to discuss how to change curls and lengths between the eyes." So how to differ the eyes, because they are a bit different through her Botox, to help with the symmetry, as this is what got me into lashing in the first place. That's a great story, I love it. I was so excited that I actually had another Bell's palsy client come yesterday for a lash lift, and it was a magical moment. Most faces aren't symmetrical, very true. So I'd like to discuss this topic in styling. I love it. So let me bring up her picture. So you can definitely see by looking at her here that there is a slight difference in where the eye is sitting. Now, I don't know if her face is 100% straight in this picture. It looks as though that she could have tilted her head slightly to the left, but assuming we're working with a completely straight head and a straight photo, you can see how everything on the right hand side is just sitting slightly lower. Okay, ever so slightly, and that's probably because of her Botox that she gets because of her Bell's palsy. Now, personally, I think there's such a tiny difference. I don't think that it's very noticeable, but of course she notices it herself a lot. So Kylie, you notice it a lot yourself. So what I always say is, and I turn the, no, I'm not going to turn around, I'm going to go closer. So you can see here that she has chosen to have quite long lashes. Her eyes are also small, and they're also a bit wide set, ever so slightly wide set. And she's chosen a longer lash on the outer corner. I'm missing personally lashes that are in the inner corner, just to kind of pull everything together more. But say one eye is a lot lower, what you can do, and in this case it's not, yeah, in this case it's such minimal thing, I don't think it's even really worth correcting. If you want to go through that effort and time, of course do it, or if you have a lash artist that you want to talk to do it for you. If it's yourself that is struggling with different kind of shapes and one eye pulling up higher than the other, then of course by any means do it. But I don't think that in an everyday situation, if it's hardly noticeable, unless the client tells us, that we need to spend that time doing it, unless obviously you're doing a competition or something like that, or you really want to take the time to do it. So what I would suggest is, if your one eye looks slightly more narrow, like this one looks slightly more narrow, and this is why it's kind of sitting lower. You can see if you drew a line through here, this one is sitting slightly lower, and it's just ever so slightly more narrow as well. What you can do in terms of curl is you can go a little bit more curly, but you also have to go 1 mil longer, because if you are looking at someone front on and you have a curl looks always a little bit longer, but if you have the same lengths, it will actually look shorter. So if you are wanting to go curlier, you should go up 1 mil in length, especially if you are alternating within your different layers of your eyes, okay? If you're looking at someone from the front, that is the case. If you're looking at someone from the side, a curl actually looks a lot shorter, so you need to be aware of it. So sometimes what I actually like to do is just put an extra mil on it rather than changing the curl, just because it's more even, the result from the front as well as from the side. Okay, so in her case, what you could do is maybe go just ever so slightly longer in this area here. Yeah, I don't know whether she has very strong lashes in the inner corner or whether the picture is just a bit blurry and you can't see. I can definitely tell that there's some lashes, so I would definitely fill in these gaps here, maybe with a little bit of light volume, because right now it just makes her eyes look even more far apart, which they're probably not even. If you were to take the eye here and put it in the middle, slightly far apart, but it's more so that she is concerned about it sitting tiny bit lower, and this side is pulling up a bit more. You can see how she's using her muscles of her forehead a lot more on this side, and that's because she had Botox in here, yeah, to even out her face. And I think they did a very good job. Personally, I wouldn't even notice, honestly. Personally, I think I wouldn't correct this, but definitely work on the inner corner for you a little bit more so that they don't look too far apart. Alrighty, I can't comment on this one because it's not a styling question. Look, this is nice because it's dark, right? Everyone comments on it because it's so dark. Now, if you were to sit this person up, she would look very, very sad, yeah? Because her eyes are, it's such a deep dark length here, it will make it droopy. But I cannot really tell because there's no front picture. But yes, it is a lovely set. But in terms of styling, I don't know whether it would be the best idea. And you can see here also how it's a mega volume set, you know, 13D, 15D. Is she using only 2 lengths? I would be surprised. Okay, if you're only using 2 lengths, I would love to see this from the front. If this is only 2 lengths, I think it would also not really aid much in the styling. But yeah, it looks nice, of course, because she's lying down. And I'm not saying this to diss anyone. This is obviously a review, and you guys know that I'm always very upfront, and I just want to help people figuring out how to do the best styling. Okay, I'm gonna do one more, right? And then we're gonna call it a day. So this is a post from Sarah Featherling, and Sarah posted this lovely lady. Her eyes are very, very rounded. Very rounded. You can tell because there's a lot of white left over here, and also the way that her lash line is sitting, it's just like really accentuating this roundness, and you can really tell her waterline in here as well. So because of that, it also looks a tiny bit droopy. Now, if the waterline was tight with the white, it would be a nice almondy shape towards the outer corner and inner corner, but again, it's still rounded here, yeah? So it's very round, more so in this area, rather than the entire eye, because it starts out more narrow. I don't know whether this client always looks like this, or maybe because just the picture was taken, because you can see down here she doesn't look quite as surprised. This is why it's so important to get really good before and after photos that have exactly the same expression. She looks super surprised here, and here she just looks like a normal person, right? But it could also be due to the lashes that she used. I'm actually quite liking this side. This side has less lashes, so I would always be careful when it comes to balancing. And I'm also liking the inner corner transition to the middle more than I like on this side. On this side also it looks like it's flicking up a bit more, and that's probably due to her having a natural curl on the outer corner. And on this side it looks like it's a bit droopy and a little bit too heavy. Do you guys see that? Well, on this side, if you look at the natural lash, it's kind of more straight, and so it makes sense that if one side is a bit more flicky up, more curly, and you apply the lash, it will naturally flick up and it create a really nice elongation for her eye. So this is actually really beautiful styling. While this one just misses some volume in here in comparison to this side, and also it's a little bit more droopy because of the natural lash, how it's sitting. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and once again, if you want to have yours reviewed for next week, I'm gonna try and do these on Fridays. I know it's Monday today, but I'm busy on Friday, so I thought, and you know, not being online for over a month, I thought it's time. So post away, make sure your photos are before and after and are the same, and the light is the same, the expression is kind of the same. Try and get them nicely done so I can review them properly.